Greetings, music lovers. Welcome to another episode of the Raga Room with Deepa Joshi. Flute is one of the oldest musical instruments known to man. It has even been mentioned in Bharata Muni's Natya Shastra. When Kanha's Bansuri played, it mesmerized gopis, and this is a fact known to all of us. In current times, when this melodic instrument is played by a very special guest that we have for you today, Pandit Ronu Majumdar, it transports us to a world of mountains, serenity, peace, tranquil, and makes us one with the universe. And it is my great honor and privilege to have Panditji on our show today. Pandit Ronu Majumdar. Panditji's musical journey has been highly acclaimed, and he is considered one of the leading exponents of Bansuri. He has developed a distinct style of playing that combines technical virtuosity with deep emotional expression. Art was an integral part of Ronuji's upbringing. His father was a homeopathic doctor by profession and a great oil painter of his times. He also played the flute. His father was his first guru, and he later became the disciple of Pandit 𝒍𝒖𝒕𝒆 the legendary flautist of his times. Ronuji's training in vocal music was done by Pandit 𝒂𝒊𝒄𝒄𝒄 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒄. In 1980, Ronuji met Bharat Ratna Pandit Ravi Shankar in the recording of the famous song 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒖 𝒂𝒑𝒊𝒐𝒏, a welcome song composed for Asiad 82. Pandit Ravi Shankar was delighted with Ronuji's musical abilities, and he became a part of his orchestras and popular albums. Since then, he also started learning from Pandit Ravi Shankar, and it was during this time that Ronuji's personality groomed as a professional musician. Ronuji is a trendsetter, a style maker, and responsible for popularizing flute across the globe of his era. He has been felicitated with many renowned awards over the years. Panditji's musical strings have also delivered solace to many years. He has worked closely with musical legends, namely Gulzar Sahab, R.D. Burman, Vishal Bharadwaj, just to name a few from Bollywood. He has been a notable figure not only in the nation but also overseas, with many international music releases and Hollywood hits. And it is my great pleasure and honor to invite the great Pandit Ronu Majumdar to the Raga Room. Namaste, Ronuda. Thank you so very much for coming to the Raga Room. It is my absolute honor and privilege and pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. I am so happy that I'm with you today to talk about my journey, my struggles, my success, my tears, my joy, everything, and looking forward to have the session with you.
That's what makes us human. And this is the first time I'm actually having the show outdoors. And I did that on purpose because your music is playing in this space every single day in my house. So in the morning when I bring coffee and I sit here, I listen to your Rag Bhairav of Sanctity. And when in the night, when we put the fire outside, we listen to Darbari. In the whole album, all the songs that you have played from Bhairav, Darbari, Vrindavani Sarang, Yaman, it's all in our minds. And I have introduced this music to so many people. And the one space where I can immediately go and feel peaceful and tranquil is your music. So looking forward to.
I'm humbled. Thank you.
So, Ronuda, you come from the cultural capital of India, Banaras. Art was always in your family. Your father was an oil painter, homeopathic doctor by profession. And to top it all, you play the instrument, which is one of the oldest musical instruments, the flute. And a confluence of all of these beautiful things. And your music is so human. It is something that we can actually, every expression is something that we can imbibe. So please take us through your journey into music.
Sure. My father was not a professional flute player, and he played as a hobby. As you know, he was a homeopathic doctor and a great oil painter of his time. So as a hobby, he learned from the pioneer of flute, Indian flute, late Pandit Pannalal Ghosh. So Panna Babu taught him, but my father was always very unhappy, rather, that he could not take it as a full time, as his life, living everything. So he told Panna Babu the same thing. Panna Babu said, you started very late, so you should teach your son when he is born. After 3 years, I was born. So my father gave me the flute when I was 6 years old. And there is a very many interviews I said that story, that I broke many flute while playing with them as a toy. So as a punishment, he asked me to practice. I broke about 5-6 flutes. I don't remember exactly. So he asked me to practice 5-6 hours. That was his very musical punishment. So I was obeying his whatever he said, because I thought he is my God, he is my Bhagwan. So I started practicing. I thought, this is my game. This is my toy. I have to play. So I started practicing like a mad and crazy boy. And whole day I used to practice. And by doing that, I never looked back. After we came to Mumbai, before that, I must tell you, the atmosphere of Varanasi was very serene that time. Yeah. Still, it is serene. What I mean is that this top notch of Indian classical music, they were at their peak, like 𝒍𝒖𝒕𝒆 𝑽𝒊𝒓𝒕𝒖𝒂𝒂 and Pandit Kishan Maharaj and Ustad Bismillah Khan. I saw them practicing actually in their houses. So I got that vibes and how to not just do a practice, but do a sadhana. It's a prayer to play your instrument. It's like a puja. It's like doing dhyana. So obviously, my father wanted me to go to a big ustad or guru, you know. So then he got an offer of homeopath in Mumbai. So then we came to this glamorous city, Mumbai, in 1973. And I was just 10 years old that time. So then he handed over me to Pandit Vijay Raghav Rao, the Padma Shri Pandit Vijay Raghav Rao, the great flutist, who is no more with us, my Guruji. And this is little story how I got my Guru.
How wonderful. And like you were saying, you know, you were actually taught to, not taught, you were asked to play flute the number of times that you broke it. And even though it seemed like a punishment, but the instrument had its calling. It had chosen you and you had chosen the instrument. So even if you started playing, you felt it was your toy, you were enjoying what you're doing. So you could play a long time without getting exhausted. I think each time you played, you wanted to play more, you wanted to learn more.
I never got exhausted. To be very, very clear about it, it was really, I never felt. Once, I must tell you the truth, in Sydney, Surjit's restaurant was made, changed into an auditorium kind of. It's a huge restaurant, Surjit restaurant. I played the whole night.
Wow.
I played for 11 hours non-stop.
Wow. Wow.
They said you must send this to Guinness Book of World Record, but I didn't know all those things at that time. I was very young. I mean, I was almost started getting famous that time, and it was 1987, right?
Wow.
So I was just 24 years old, 23 years old, and but I never get tired. I mean, flute playing is a pranayam for me. It is a yoga for me. It is a life saving instrument for me.
Absolutely. And also, it requires so much of breath control. I think it is a difficult instrument to play as opposed to any other instrument, because you have to really work on your breath. You have to practice. Does that come to you naturally, or did you have to work on it, Ronika?
Later on, when I started getting a little old, I mean, after 40s, I was suggested, at times I felt little tired. So we had a very good yoga teacher who is not famous. I mean, his name is Dr. Patwardhan. And he suggested me all the pranayams, which he said will help you to play the flute for longer time, because you breathe in, breathe out, and it's can get tiring sometimes. So nowadays I do Kapalbhati and Anulom Vilom and all those whole process very efficiently, and that really helps me, and it increased my stamina 100%.
When we look at your body of work, anything that you have worked on, it has such a pleasant feeling to it. Like your first, I would love to talk to you about your experiences with Pandit Ravi Shankar. But just to segue into that a little bit, you started with Panditji on the Gata Swagatam for the Asiad 82. And what a beautiful song. Even as of today, when we listen to it, you feel patriotism, you feel pride, and there's some pleasantness that is, it just makes you feel very tranquil, So please take us through your experiences with Pandit Ravi Shankarji. How did you
Oh,
meet
he
him?
was in a relation. He was my grand guru. Later on, after Asiad 82, he became my guru. So what happened was Pandit Ravi Shankarji Bharat Ratna. He was a Vishwa Ratna. I mean, what not? He was one of the greatest Indian musician ever born, and he also is responsible of popularizing, introducing our Indian music to the world. That is Pandit Ravi Shankar. So he asked my Guruji Pandit Vijay Raghav Rao whether you have any student who can play in this song and write notations and whose mind is sharp enough to understand these small intricacies of the song. Because Panditji was very good in Laya, so his Laya sense was world famous, because he could play 7.5, 8.5, and 9.25 or anything very efficiently. So his Laya was especially very famous, and all the artists know that his Laya sense. Well, my Guruji said that my student Ranendranath, my full name. So he said, so big name, I'll call him Ronu. So Ronu means Ranu. The जो हार कृष्ण के गले में रहता है, the mala, it is called Ranu. So that's how I became popular as Ronu Majumdar, because Pandit Ravi Shankar ji started calling me Ronu.
Oh, such
So
a
he said,
nice
your name
story
has
this
to be
is.
very small and catchy so that people can remember you are in a show business. So he understood all these factors of glamour and celebrity and, in the show business. So he suggested keep that name in the passport, but your concert name has to be Ronu Majumdar. So, and I tell you something about Pandit Ravi Shankar ji. He was more than a musician. He was a Mahatma. Somebody with whom, if you are with him, you always get that vibe of that somebody is very great from another planet, or somebody is giving light to you, light of knowledge. So I think Pandit Ravi Shankarji's association with me changed my whole personality, way of thinking, way of handling the audience. Be sincere on the stage, whether you get a connoisseur audience or common audience, be true to your art. So once he said, don't try to show sincerity, just be sincere, people can see it. So just be sincere. So those things that he told us, he taught us, we imbibed from him is a part of our daily routine, part of everything. That learning is still happening. Still we are thinking what Bari Guruji means big Guruji said. So still we think, Are, Pandit Ravi Shankarji said this, Pandit Ravi Shankarji said this, Bari Guruji said this. So let's play this like this. So every composition that I do or I think, it has his effect, his guidance. Even when he is not here, he went in 2012, and my Guruji, main Guruji, went in 2011. But their teaching is always with me.
How nice. It reminded me, when you were talking about a shloka, my grandmother always used to say, Satsangatse nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatvam, nischalatve jivanamukti. So the association with the good, it gives us a pathway to self-realization. So when we realize what we can do, what we can offer, and how we can go on the path, that can happen with the association of good people. And always, like I've heard everybody's parents say, make sure you are with the right company, make sure you're with people who can influence you in a positive way. And for me, as much as you're saying the reverence that you have for Pandit Ravi Shankarji, you have been in close association with him, you have worked with him, you have learned from him, you have imbibed so much from him, which is now going to go to so many generations through you. And for us, for people like myself, to see people like you, to talk to people like you, to listen to music. I mean, today we are having this conversation, but I promise you, when I go on the flight, I'm listening to your music. When I'm sitting here, I'm listening to your music. So this is the kind of effect that the great people have on other people, and it is such an important factor that, and it's your sincerity and your humility, and your music is touching us because of your humility. And I really salute you for that.
Thank you so much.
So, also, Runada, you have worked collaboratively with so many artists in India, across the world. You have given music to, in the world of classical music, you have your name. You have worked in Bollywood. You have also given music to Hollywood. So, tell us about your association with R.D. Burman. And I have a very interesting angle here, like how easily you have made classical music available, or it has so beautifully blended with the Bollywood songs. And please talk to us about your association with R.D. Burman, and how was it like a directed pieces that you had to play, or was it something that you could conceptualize and you could say, for this particular scene or for this movie, this is going to be a good piece and this is how we need to play it?
It was both the ways, actually. I was introduced to R.D. Burman ji by D.M. Tagore, the great Tarshanai player. Dakshina Mohan Tagore, D.M. Tagore. So, first song that I played was Yaad Aa Rahi Hai in 1981 for Panchamda. And he loved it so much, my playing with Lata ji and Amit Kumar ji. So then he asked me to be permanent with him. And I used to never miss his recordings. And it was 14 long years with him, 13 years and little more. Till the last day of his life, I played the last song, Kuch Na Kaho, Kuch Bhi Na Kaho. And Kya Kehna Hai, Kya Sunna Hai, Sabko Khabar Hai, Sabko Pata Hai. That song I played. And he loved classical musicians because he himself was a sarod player and a great tabla player. He learned tabla from Pandit 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒖 𝒂𝒂𝒓, famously known as Godai Maharaj.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and Sarod he learned from Ali Akbar Khan sir. So, so Panchamda was ahead of time. I learned so much about music, and to tell you the fact that many collaborations that I did with international musicians like Larry Coryell, Ry Cooder, who is a multi-Grammy winner, and people like them, and George Brooks, the great saxophonist. Panchamda's experience helped me to understand their music. And when I was with Panchamda, I did not know, because I was just 17 and a half that time. So I did not understand the importance of just being with him. But slowly, as the time passed through, I realized about in 1984-85, one song I played with him, Khali Hath Sham Aayi Hai, Khali Hath Jayegi. Asha ji's very famous song I played. And Asha ji loved my playing so much. She immediately came out of the singer booth and hugged me, and she said, "Kya bajaya tumne aaj?" तो इतना प्यार दीदी ने दिया मुझे और आशीर्वाद दिया, तो मुझे I'm very lucky and I'm very fortunate. I'm one of those musicians who did not try for all these things, but music just gave me all these great people's association. And many hit songs with Kishore Kumar, who will never be, there won't be another Kishore Kumar at all in the history, because Kishore Kumar was God's own creation, and he never became out of tune in his life. So I played many songs with Kishore Da live recording, because those days were not multi-track. So we just had 4 tracks. So 1 track singer and 1 track musician, 1 track rhythm and 1 track melody section and violins, and that's all. So we had to just play at one go, everyone. So 100 musicians had to play perfect at the same time as the recording were started. So I think we have seen those times. So today it has become very easy. You can play your part separately and have multiple retakes. But those days, one retake means everyone have to play again. For your mistake, others have to play. So you are more conscious and more alert.
Yeah. You want to make sure that you don't disrupt anything. So you come completely prepared. You practice enough, and you come just to come and perform without causing any disruption. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that time was much tougher than today's time. I think we have seen the difficult time, and today when I go to play, it's much easier for me to play the recordings.
I have another simple question. So, Ronita, when you're playing with many musicians, you have collaborated with so many, you've played with the stalwarts, Zakir Hussain. When you are on a stage, when there is high energy, so there's a lot, music is just a manifestation of our personality, of what is inside art. We express it through our art. So we already have so much reverence, and we have respect for the people that are playing along with us. And each one wants to give their best. They want to do well. So please give us some experiences where, those energies inspire you, and how you feel when you're on stage and when you're collaborating with the musicians, or when you're playing solo. What are your experiences like?
Oh, there are many incidents, many experiences that I can share with you, and I'll share a few very memorable. I was playing in 1988 with Pandit Ravi Shankar ji in a Moscow Festival of India, and Moscow Chamber Orchestra was playing with us, and one of their phrase was very difficult for Indian musician to play on Indian instrument because they were very Russian type of phrases. So Pandit Ravi Shankar-ji used to call me computer, and sometimes he knew that I write even others' music, whether I need or not. It's just my habit. He kind of knew me very much.
Oh. So
he
you were
said,
writing others' music as well?
Just as a hobby.
Oh, okay.
Just to try things, which is not needed at times. But I wanted to try and explore whether
For your
I can play those
curiosity.
levels or not on my flute, whether how
Yeah.
difficult it is, how challenging it is, if it comes to me, whether I would be able to play. So those things were in mind. So he did not say anything. He just looked at us. All the students of Pandit Ji, Ravi Shankar Ji were sitting, and I raised my hand. I said, I can play. So he just said that, go and show them which country we come from. So very proudly, as a very proud Indian Bharatiya, he said, so I went to the conductor who was conducting the whole orchestra, and I was standing and playing besides him, and I got a standing ovation, and that gave me so much of energy, so much of inspiration, and that changed my playing. Because even to witness the rehearsal, there were 5,000 people in the 𝒄𝒏𝒖 Palace. So that recording is still there in the CD, Pandit Ravi Shankar live in 𝒄𝒏𝒖. You can find that CD. My name is there on the CD. So I think many occasions in 𝒂𝒑 Festival, when I was playing in Reading, UK, way back in, I think, 2000 or 2001, I don't remember the year exactly. I played with Trilok Gurtu, one of the best drummer India has ever produced. Trilok Dada, I was playing with him. So to see the 𝒂𝒑 Festival, before that I did not have the experience of playing in the festivals which are conducted in the Europe and UK, like a Montreux Jazz Festival or Woodstock Festival, and that kind of atmosphere, people shouting, and they are like a in a very much carnival kind of mood. So that shout, and I was playing like a jazz flutist, like a standing and playing and dancing and playing, not like a classical artist. So I did not even realize that I'm dancing and playing. And after that, I composed a piece like Dancing with the Wind.
Oh, that's how. Okay.
That's how the Dancing of the Wind came. And of course, Birju Maharaj Ji was my inspiration at the same time. How can I forget that?
Wow. So lovely. You also mentioned that, so at that moment, music took over you. So, this is something that is much bigger than us, that kind of like takes us to another level. You were also...
Along with the music, the energy of the audience.
Yeah.
The live audience. I mean, I thought, oh my God, these we never get in the studio. These we never get in India. What kind of atmosphere is this? People are shouting, dancing with our piece. Every beat they are dancing. So it's not an auditorium. It's on the very open ground. The whole stage is designed. And, it's 𝒂𝒑 is 𝒂𝒑. So 𝒂𝒑 Festival was a dream project of Peter Gabriel. And Peter Gabriel is responsible of many things in the music field.
How nice. You were also talking about your experience with yoga and how it helps you play the flute. So normally when we listen to flute, it aids meditation. It brings us to a peaceful state of mind. Uh, what is it about flute that makes us, calm down, reset, and find our balance? What quality of flute is it that makes us feel that way?
The sound, the sound. Because the sound of bamboo is so earthy, so grassroot, that it sounds, because there is nothing which is added to it or artificially done to it. Like, there is no string, there is no khuti to tune it. It is tuned while you make the bansuri. Only you make a hole in the bamboo and one cork on the top of the flute where the mouth hole is there. So it is the most pastoral and pure instrument and most ancient instrument. The sound of flute itself is meditative. That's why many meditation sessions, they play just the alap, no tabla with it. You see, where we elaborate and unfold the raga in a very meditative manner, slowly, slowly introducing each note, and that helps you to go to the out of sixth sense. When you do actual pranayam, at times before the last thing that you do in pranayam is the shavasana, where you lie down like a dead body. Do the dead body, do the dead body. That's how in the Westerners they understand. So it is actually called shavasana in Sanskrit. So shavasana, you lie down on your back. So that time, because until that, to reach that level, you have done all the asanas. So what happens? You are out of sixth sense and you are so much centered in the middle of those eyes, which we call Gyan Chakshu, the third eye, the knowledge of the in between those two eyes. You must be knowing this whole method of reaching that level. So flute can take you there.
Definitely. That is a very easy way of getting into meditation, is to listen to flute, and definitely works for me, no doubt about that. Also, is there a way in which you choose your flutes? Now, I have seen you play. Luckily, I've been fortunate enough to be in one of your concerts, live concerts. So I have seen you play different sizes of flutes. So if you would please explain to us how that works.
First of all, the main flute, which was known as Bansi or Murli, which Lord Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna played. So that's a small flute, and that's a folk music flute. So to make it suitable and accessible for classical music, that big flute was designed by, as I said, pioneer of Bansuri, Pandit Pannalal Ghosh. So we all call him God of Bansuri, God of Indian flute. So because he came for a purpose in this planet and went very early of his age in 1960. Yeah. So after that, I fell in love with the Rudra Veena. Yeah. And because I play the Beenkari style. Beenkari means Veena style. Veena is Rudra Veena. So I was missing the low octave. That time I designed this Bansuri, which one, the 3.5 feet long, the one you saw me playing in Rajesh Bhagatji's house. That flute is designed by me, and now many young players are following my footsteps, called Shankh Bansuri. Because the sound of it is like a Narashank, the big cell, Conch Bansuri.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. I'm so glad I asked you that question, Jonathan. And such a resonating thought. We had Vidushi Jyoti Hegde on the show. I think she's one of the leading Rudravina players in India. And I was asking her, how did you get into Rudravina? And she said, the strike of the mantra. That is what got me into it. And it is, when you hear that, the lower octave, it takes you somewhere else. And how wonderful that you have designed a flute to actually bring that element into your playing.
Absolutely. The low octave alap and its glides, its mean, usko mean bolte hain. So those means are much slower than, and the intensity of those means attracted me so much. And my playing changed after I listened to the Zia Moinuddin Dagar Sahab, the father of Bahauddin Dagar. He is no more in this planet, in this world. So उसने मेरा playing बहुत बदल दिया और शंख बांसुरी ने ऐसे ही जन्म लिया. So any instrumentalist, I would suggest listen to the Rudra Veena, and that will change your alap, especially.
Yeah. You can actually get into the very embedded and the deeper layers within yourself by listening to the lower octaves of the Rudra Veena, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So very happy to hear that, Runada. I'm sure, with your music, with the kind of reach that you have, you must be having a lot of people that come to you and appreciate your music, and where you have made a difference in people's lives. Would you like to share some experiences where, such things have happened?
There are many experiences where people go out of the way to show their love and affection towards us after the concert. This is just grace of God. We are not responsible of getting. We are not that much of caliber, or it is the music which sometimes does the magic.
I absolutely agree, and also how you present it as well. So this is not a fair question to ask, but I'll ask you anyway. Out of the many ragas that you play, do you have any favorites? And if you want to, for yourself, get into a spiritual zone or to feel good, is there a certain raga that you are aligned to, Runvan?
Yes. There are all the ragas. If you learn them properly and play properly, any rag can be very high level. But there are few ragas that I play in very special occasions, and they string so deeply to me. That is rag Kamach and 𝒍𝒖𝒕𝒆 and Darbari Kannada. If the atmosphere is so serious and people are ready to take, if I get that vibe, and if it is midnight or even little before midnight, I start Darbari Kannada, and people till now I've been successful to, take their attention. I mean, it never happened so that I'm playing the deep alap and they were leaving the auditorium, or it never happened. I mean, they were all almost in meditation, and I closed my eyes and play 45 minutes long alap in Darbari Kannada. So these three ragas, and in morning I have a very favorite rag, Shuddha Bhairav. Shuddha Bhairav was not played in flute so much. And there is an album called Sacred Space, album released by Sense World. So in that album, I played the Shuddha Bhairav.
Okay.
In a style.
Wow. Lovely.
Very touchy. Shuddha Bhairav. Because at times I was doing alap in many Bhairav, and I thought people are playing more Nat Bhairav, Ahir Bhairav, all these. Why not Shuddha Bhairav? Just the Bhairav, which is the father of all the Bhairav. So I started playing and I found it very interesting. I thought it is difficult to make it sound very deep if you don't play it properly. So I started working on that and doing real sadhana. And then I felt that there is something happening to me, and then I recorded.
Oh, how nice. How lovely it would be to hear it.
The Bhairav.
Oh, lovely. Well, I will definitely look for it and I will listen to it. Thank you for that. And out of the many projects that I'm sure you're involved in, and I thank you for actually making time in your busy day to be a part of this interview today. And just before I let you go, I just wanted to ask, what are the projects that you are working on currently? Are there any albums that you are working on currently?
And yes, I am trying to do an album which will include all the folk tunes of India.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I am very much into folk music, and folk music has not been played till the date properly in flute. I mean, it has not been explored in a right manner. That some folk like Chhattisgarh folk, and Chhattisgarh is a very interior, and their folk attracts me so much. And in Bollywood, of course, Ravindra Jain Sahab has done few songs. लेके आए हो मुझके सपनों के गांव में प्यार की छांव में बिठाए रखना. That song, that's a Chhattisgarh folk.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's a Chhattisgarh folk. So I think there are few folks which I'm very attracted to, and I'm trying to make it happen with the modern sound so that the youngsters can relate to it, and at the same time maintaining the rustic essence of it, so that it doesn't lose its essence and its earthiness and its magic of that khushbu, that smell of that particular village and particular folk. And that's why at many occasions I played Punjab folk Heer. Heer Raja ka jo Heer hota hai, that I played in Punjab, and they were mad on that. People cried,
Oh
that
my
dhun
God.
itself is so touchy. And I think there are many things is going to come from me. If I'm doing a project for 15 August with very eminent percussionist of India, Maestro Vikram Ghosh and Hariharan ji, and that project is ready. Ye Desh Hamara. So that song is ready, and I'm going to do the shooting on 23rd for them.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, this is such an interesting topic that you picked up, about folk, because I think every state in India and any folk music that comes from each part of that state has so much authenticity to that region, to the people, how they live, what they do. Even the lyrics are so beautifully tuned to the daily activities of what they do. And each of it has its own authenticity, just like you mentioned. And I'm sure this project is going to be phenomenal. I really look forward to it, Ranaka.
Thank you so much. I'm so much in high energy, you can say, to record this, and really something new will be on Spotify very soon.
Oh, wonderful. Really look forward to it, and I wish you all the very best, not just for this, but for all the other projects that you have planned. And it is my great honor that you made time and came to Raga Room today. And
thank you, Deepaji,
it.
and look forward to see you when I come to America for my tour. And it's going to happen. God gives you what you want, but you have to pray for it.
And when time is right, everything comes together.
Everything comes together. You have to believe yourself, trust yourself, trust your inner voice.
Yes, yes. And for me, to have association, to have conversations like this, to hear all of the wise pearls of wisdom that you share, and for someone who is in such a pinnacle of art, it's a very humbling feeling for me, and I thank God for that and for the moment and for this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Take care.
Namaskar.
Bye. Dear friends, we hope you enjoyed watching this episode just as much as we did, bringing it to you. We hope to see you in our upcoming episodes on the Raga Room, where the soul listens as notes speak. For more information, visit our website www.theragaroom.com. Thank you and have a wonderful day.